Hi! I'm back in America, not in Japan anymore, but I recently started a blog where I started to keep track of things I want to remember, like other notes and just a little random tidbits here and there that have to do with Japan that I can possibly share with myself, my friends, and other people. So I think for the first video I want to make is 10 random things that are good to know about Japan, but you probably won't find in like your normal like handheld thingy. So let's get started. Number one being there's lots of drunk salarymen, and not like, oh yeah, just sloppy drunk people, but like wasted, hammered, completely out on the street. Specifically if you're in Tokyo and you're hanging out in like Shinjuku, Shibuya, those popular areas. So when I mean salarymen, I mean nicely dressed, middle-aged Japanese men, full suits with their briefcases on the floor, like, that's what I mean. So don't be surprised if you do see them on the street, because there's no 24-hour train. So if these salarymen miss their train, the good ones will go to a capsule hotel or something like that, or take a cab home. But the little too drunk ones usually end up on the street somewhere, or on a, Anyway. Number two, Google Maps is actually really great and efficient. So especially if you're traveling in places that are not Tokyo or Osaka, you can actually use Google Maps to locate and figure out how you're going to navigate through smaller parts of Japan, which I think is really useful. And they have basically all the timetables. Sometimes, if you can read Japanese, obviously it's better to refer to the JR or whatever train service is there, their maps, because they also will explain the like the express, limited express, and all of that. But for those non-Japanese readers, Google Maps is very good, and I think that it helped me a lot. So number three, coin purse. Definitely carry a coin purse. I know people are always like, oh yeah, cash is the biggest thing there in Japan. Make sure that you are stocked on cash, Yeah, that's true, but it's also true that you're gonna get a lot of coins back, and especially coming from America, where we kind of, coins are whatever. If you throw to the side all of your coins in Japan, you will regret it, because they have like 500 yen coins and 100 yen coins, and you don't want to forget that those exist. So if you can carry a coin purse, carry one. Or don't wait for your waiter. I know here in America, when we're like eating out all night with our friends, you're always waiting for like someone to get eye contact, or you're just like thinking of really weird and kind of strange ways to get your waiter's attention. The easiest thing to do in Japan is just like raise your arm and be like sumimasen, or like simasen, or something. Call something out, and then that will grab someone's attention. Especially if you're at a really busy izakaya or something like that, you want to make sure that you are projecting your voice so that people notice you and will take your order. Also, usually you have to ask for water. They're not going to bring you water right off the bat like they do here in America. So ask for water, or sometimes, depending on what kind of restaurant you're at, they have self-serve water stations where you just go up and get some for yourself. Number five, food etiquette is actually relatively important, unlike America where most of us are pigs. I definitely recommend that you don't play with your chopsticks. Don't like do the walrus thing like in Freaky Friday. Don't stick your chopsticks vertically into a rice bowl, because death. Don't pass food using chopsticks, because that's also what you do at funerals. Don't chew with your mouth open. I think that's a pretty generally well-known rule, especially here in America. But for some reason, my grandma always lectured me and like reinforced me, don't do that. Even though I'm pretty sure I don't chew with my mouth open. Maybe I do, but okay. Anyway, number six, it's better to use bad Japanese than basic good English, especially when you're asking for directions or asking anything to anyone Japanese ever. The reason being is that even though Japanese people can honestly all speak a very basic and comprehensive level of English, they're just gonna completely just lie to you and say that they have no idea what you're saying. So the best thing, in order for them to get a little more comfortable with interacting with non-Japanese people, is to make yourself look like an idiot and just try speaking Japanese. Don't even worry about the accent or any of that, because as long as that Japanese person, they know that you're trying, they'll be a lot more willing to help, as opposed to you going up to them and being like, hey, do you know where this is? So yeah, I think that you should, yeah. Number 7, there's toilets in the ground that don't look like toilets and are actually just holes with a little flush thing. Especially if you're going to an older style restaurant or a smaller style restaurant in Japan, sometimes when you go into the bathroom, they don't have traditional Western toilets. This is pretty common, not only in Japan, but other parts of the Eastern world. You go in, there's like an elevated, sometimes if you're lucky, an elevated portion of the bathroom, and then there's like the toilet thing, it's like ceramic, hopefully, and then there's a little flush thing. So for women, you are going to pull down your pants and then squat and work your legs out while you're peeing or pooping or something. Make sure that you don't pee on your pants.
8.
Convenience store food is actually really good, and you will be able to microwave it there at the store. Not sure how many people know this. For those that don't, and they are looking for something to eat on the spot and don't want to wait until they go home, just don't eat on the street. But if they want to eat at the actual store, then just bring up your food, buy it, you heat it up. And if they don't, you can just point, because usually the microwave will be in distance, and then you just point at it, and then they'll get the hint. Number 10. If you travel in a group and you are the only Asian person asking a Japanese person for directions or help or something, that Japanese person is only going to respond to the Asian person of the group. I don't know. I think Japanese people are like generally very scared of other races. Based on my experiences and some of my friends' experiences that are in Japan, that's usually what happens. Kind of racist, probably. Can it be helped? Who knows? Those are my 10 kind of interesting, good to know facts about Japan if you do decide to make your way over to the great land of Nihon. I hope they did help. If not, I'm sorry. They were kind of bad. But I do have a more extensive 21 things you need to know about Japan before going list below. Check it out if you want. If not, don't. Thanks for watching.